say about Matt Harms. So basically, from when the moment he was shopping around, seeing where he'd continue his collegiate career, he picked you guys because of the way you guys focus on analytics and how you promised him that you could improve his game. What, like, how has that gone about? Like, how have you helped him improve? What have you helped him improve? What have you noticed? Just give me the whole breakdown on Matt Harms.
Yeah, so I mean, in a real simple sense, his efficiencies have gone way up, just in terms of his points per possession. Have gone really, they've kind of skyrocketed over the course of the season. It's been the best that he's ever been. He's well over a 1 right now. 1 point per possession is just kind of a marker about, give or take, depending on the season or time of year. It's the top 18% of the country will be over 1 point per possession. And so now there's a ton of things that go into that, right? One is kind of developing a skill set, and one of the things that he's done really well here is he's embraced the idea of kind of trusting finishing shots without creating contact every time, right? So that's been a big adjustment that's found itself in a bunch of different facets, not just quicks, but also the simplicity of his post moves and using a big shoulder and kind of staying staying on the ground longer, and the importance of catch first, and he's just has made a massive jump just in the last few weeks. You think about it, here he is, a senior in college, and he's still growing at such a fast clip, which is really exciting for him because it means his upside is significantly higher than even where he is now.
And you mentioned he's still growing. What potential do you see in him, like where he could still grow? What could he continue to build on?
Yeah, so I think his ability to pass out of the post is something that we've been highlighting recently. I think it's really special. I think he continues to be more comfortable, not just catching on the roll, but getting to a second move off the roll on the catch, which is pretty heady stuff, especially for a guy who's 7'3", right, playing in confined spaces. What you saw this past week was he did that multiple times, getting catches on the roll with a heavy bottom, and actually having the balance and presence and wherewithal to get to a second move, do it safely and efficiently. Is super impressive. He still has a ton of game on the perimeter facing the basket that he's going to really have fun exploring as his career continues to grow. Defensively, we're toying with opportunities where we can switch with him a little bit more. I think he has the potential to do that defensively. He's been extraordinary kind of in our down and weak two-man game ball screen defense. His leadership, I think, has grown. I think he's taken ownership of this team. I've been super proud of him with his physical approach to this game and how that's grown, especially over the last several weeks. I mean, you know me, Norma. I could keep going, but he's just got so much promise in his game, and clearly he's a special player. Both on the offensive, defensive end, but his ceiling is still way in front of him, which is pretty cool.
Mark, fans back in the building this week. What did it take? What was maybe the process that entailed to get the approval for a limited number of fans to be back in the building this week?
Yeah, so I mean, without going into great detail, I'm credit your President Worthen and Keith Vorkink and the President's Council, as well as our medical staff and all the medical consultants that we have, with getting to a place where they felt like we could really, really do this safely and appropriately and appropriately is really heavy, right? Because that's also dealing with perceptions and all kind of concepts like that. And so they're excited about it. It's going to be a limited number of fans. I mean, it's a 20,000 seat arena, and there's going to be less than 2,000 in. So it'll be essentially one person every 10 seats, right? And so, but we're really excited about it. I think it's trusting our medical staff and our medical team. I think it's a really, really positive thing that we, especially with the progress we've made in the state of Utah in terms of cases decreasing. I just think it's a positive thing that we're actively trying to find and aggressively trying to find the safest ways to take little limited steps back, right? That we're not just sitting on our hands and doing nothing. And so we're super excited about it. And it's been a whole team of people that have been involved in actually making this a possibility.
You referenced last week, Mark, on your coach's show, how great teams make a leap this time of the year. Was the play from your team, the type of leap this past weekend, what you were hoping to see from your guys in terms of that leap?
Yeah, I think we got better. It's those. Everybody's kind of had these weird breaks. We've been fortunate not to have a break because of COVID within our own house, but we've had it with COVID with our opponents. And you have these weird breaks, and they're either going to make you stale or stay neutral or get better. And I was so proud of our guys because they were really focused every day on getting better. And that comes from the leadership that we have from our seniors on this team. But I thought we made tremendous strides. I was incredibly pleased with our guys' performance and their focus this week. I was so pleased with their presentness. You saw Alex Barcelo and Matt Harms 2 minutes into the Loyola Marymount game on the road, the second game in 3 days, and they were as present as you can possibly be. They were so focused and so determined and so passionate and emotional at the very beginning of that game and throughout the game, just like they were 2 nights before. And that's what you're looking for from your team. You're looking for them to get better and stay totally present. And I think seniors have a magic way of doing that, and certainly our seniors have done that.
Jeff Call and Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Coach, that kind of leads into the question I was going to ask about your 3 seniors. If you could kind of assess the contributions they've made throughout the season as they go into their final 2 home games this year.
Yeah, the basketball the basketball part of that is pretty obvious, just by the numbers, right? What Alex and Brandon have done, handling the ball and protecting the ball and being creators and being scorers and being pesky defenders, being really physical forces on the floor, is all kind of demonstrated in the stats and the film, right? And Matt, in terms of his extraordinary rim protection and his ability to score the ball and take over games when necessary, and kind of play every facet of the game. All those things get demonstrated through the numbers. The thing that these guys have contributed that's been so special is their leadership. And I know that it's such a hollow word, right? Because it's all we say it all the time. But specifically, what I mean is these 3 guys have gone out of their way every single day to fellowship the guys on this team, to teach them what it means to be a high-level Division I basketball player, to help them understand what it means to be a great teammate, showing them by example. When things go wrong for those 3 seniors, they were great examples of how to be a great teammate. And when things have gone well, they've been great examples of what it means to be a great teammate. They've demonstrated the dedication and commitment that it takes to be on a top 20 team. So in all those ways, they've taught our guys in a magnificent way. This team has been really special in their ability to absorb frustration and turn it into fight. And this team can absorb frustration. I mean, they've proven to be able to absorb frustration for 35 minutes. That's hard to do, right? But that all comes from these guys' leadership. They've instilled a feel in our organization that the locker room is the classroom is important, that sacrifice is important, that honesty and accountability are important. These guys, these are extraordinary young men. And, we've all been blessed. We haven't been able to have people in the gym, but everybody that's been able to follow the team through the media and on television, it's been really special to watch these guys lead and represent BYU. You could not ask. You just couldn't ask for 3 better people to represent BYU. They've done it in such an extraordinary way, and they're just getting started, guys. We got to run here. So, we got the best part of the season right ahead of us, like immediately ahead of us, and they're pretty focused on accomplishing something.
Mark, I wanted to ask you, now that you kind of are at the end of the regular season, you've got 2 games remaining here. How does it feel to finally know that, hey, we've made it through everything that's been going on with COVID and all that, just to kind of see that finish line out there?
Yeah. I mean, Jake, I don't know, man. We've had games canceled like 5 hours before tip, so I'm not making that assumption yet.
I understand that. That was standing.
Yep. I've talked to you guys a lot about this, and I'll just kind of tell you again. This team's ability, their refusal to accept COVID as an excuse, has been just phenomenal. And again, it speaks well about who these young men are. I mean, they're going to be, they're going to have great college careers and professional athletic careers, and then they're going to actually go make some extraordinary, significant contribution to the world because of who they are. These are great young men. So I'm just proud. I think that's how I feel. Proud of how they've responded to all the opportunities to latch onto an excuse, and they've refused to do it.
All right, any other questions for Coach today? Looks like we got a follow-up from Mitch.
Yeah, Mark, with the seniors, will all of these guys be honored? Because I know with this year being the unique waiver year, do all these guys plan to get honored this Saturday night? Yeah,
we've actually got clearance to honor all of them, so it's gonna be really fun, and they should be. And if any of these guys decide to come back, there's not going to be a single person in the entire BYU Cougar Nation family that feels anything but sheer joy and exhilaration. And if what's right for them is to leave, then we're gonna just be forever indebted with gratitude for what they've done to represent BYU. So we're gonna celebrate them. We're gonna celebrate them as big as we can with 1,750 people in the arena, and then they're going to celebrate together by continuing to work as hard as they can for our team to get better and keep winning.
And last thing for me, Mark, these 2 games, San Francisco and St. Mary's, I mean, got adjusted on the fly, last week of the season. I mean, just the task of facing these teams that gave you some difficult battles on the road last month. Just your thoughts on these upcoming games. Yeah,
really good teams. And neither team is probably performed exactly to the level that they had hoped, but they're incredibly talented teams, incredibly physical teams, really skilled teams, and incredibly dangerous teams. Both teams have huge wins through the course of the season, and so they're extraordinarily dangerous. And so, we have to come play. Thursday we're gonna have to play the best basketball game we've played all season long to have a chance to compete, and that's the way we approach it, and that's the way we think about it, and so we're looking forward to it to see if we can raise our level of play higher than it's ever been.